Hello everybody and welcome. I'm Matt, Director of Client Success for White House Custom Color. And before we start chatting with Heather here in a few minutes, I just want to make a couple announcements. So if you haven't subscribed to our WHCC YouTube, make sure and do that so you get notified of cool stuff like we're doing today. There's literally hundreds of videos on there, great interviews with clients, product information, pricing, sales techniques, all the fun stuff. So make sure and subscribe to the WHCC YouTube. If you're not following along on Instagram, we're at WHCC Pro. And for all your product related questions, looking at software options for album design, for wall design, for press card design, check out WHCC.com. All right, Heather Nixon, thank you so much for visiting us. This is awesome to have you here.
Thank you for having me. This
Absolutely.
has been great.
Yeah,
this is amazing.
Fantastic. So for people who are watching along and going to be watching the replay of us and haven't heard of you before, don't know who you are, can you fill in the blanks a little bit about who you are, where you're from, a little about the studio, that stuff?
Yeah, so obviously Heather Nixon. I'm from Greenville, Texas, which is about an hour east of Dallas. Okay. I shoot only boudoir. That's my specialty. That's what I...
Always and forever?
Always and forever. Well, that's not where I started, but yes, that's what... I'm committed now. I can't turn back. So that's what I love to do. I say an in-home studio. It's a house, it's a studio. So, and that keeps me very, very busy.
Yes, yes. So I hope you've enjoyed the broadcast. No, I'm just kidding.
And that's a wrap.
Yeah, exactly. That would be really easy. So when we were talking, and I always do an interview with our wonderful clients that are going to be on YouTube Lives with us, and I asked you, and right away you were like, I know what I want to talk about. And your words were, I feel like everybody says they start at rock bottom or they start at zero, but she's like, you said, I literally did.
Yeah.
Can you tell us just a little bit more about that so we kind of get an understanding of how 8 years has radically changed the business in your life?
So when I first started, first off, I've always loved photography. So even as a little kid, my parents got me my first camera, like I think I was like 10 or 11, because they just already knew that I kind of had that eye. So I'd already kind of loved it, and I was really going through a rough phase of my life. I had just gone through a divorce, and I was a single mom, and I started to picking up my camera more because I needed to make extra money. And so I was doing it on the side while I was doing other things, and I was living off food stamps. So I was very much at the rock bottom. I was barely getting by, and I was using my GI Bill because I'm a veteran, so I was using that to go back to school. And so I was really just, I had no direction in life. I was just trying to figure out, I was just trying to stand on my feet. So that was where I truly did start, and then I met my now husband, and he helped me propel forward. But when I say I started at rock bottom, that was pretty rock bottom for me. Yeah, so.
But you made the choice to go up and forward and do it. And now 8 years later, I mean, holy smokes.
Yeah, someone had asked me if I would do boudoir for them, and I was like, I'll give it my best shot. I had no idea what I was doing, but I did. And after that, I did that one session, and then I knew Valentine's Day was coming up, and I was like, oh, this is the perfect opportunity. And so I decided, I was like, if I'm going to take on, because I wanted to do like many sessions back to back. I feel like that's how a lot of boudoir photographers kind of get going at first. And so I started to invest in education, and I found Michael Sasser on YouTube, and that was the gateway to everything else, because he talked about how much when you specialize in it and you know what you're doing and you actually know how to pose your clients and make them feel comfortable, how much you can succeed in that genre. So
Right.
I saw that and I was like, that's my
what I'm
ticket.
doing.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm doing. Yeah.
And it's so cool when, in life, when you get to that point where you're like, this is my path.
Yeah.
I know and I feel it, and there is no failure here because that just can't be an option.
Yeah, so not only was I on food stamps, because I also want to preface this too, I was working in a law office. I was an assistant to a tax attorney, which actually helped me run my business.
Yep.
But so I was working for her, and she was so terrible to me that it pushed me to want to be better. Like I saw her, the way she would treat me and the way she would assume that I remember one day she told me I broke her printer. I was like, I did not break your printer. It's 25 years old.
It broke itself.
It broke itself. But that stuck with me because I was like, first off, I never want to be a boss like that. I never want to make anyone feel less than me. But then also I was like, I know there's more for me in life than doing this. Like I
Right.
knew there was more. And again, it was a matter of making that decision that we're going a different direction.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So would you say that was a pivotal moment of like looking at your cycle and then deciding like, I need to break this?
Yeah.
This is not what I want to do for my life?
Yeah, it was definitely a shift where I was like, I had made a physical decision that this was what we were going to do. I went in on a Monday, and I actually still have this printed out in my office. I went in on a Monday, and I typed up a letter on her computer, printed it out with that printer that was broken, and I taped that letter to my monitor. I printed out a second copy for myself on purpose. I taped it to my monitor, I left the keys on the desk, and I walked out. I didn't give her 2 weeks notice. I just left because I knew, I was like, if I didn't put everything towards my goal, then I wasn't going to be serious about it. So I knew that was my way of being like, I'm committed to this, and this is what we're going to do.
Right. And when we were talking last week, what you said is you're like, I'm going to put all my eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
And that is, I don't know if contrary is the right word, but in the industry right now, you hear a lot of people say, don't do that. But for you, it made you a specialist in your field.
It forced me to
Yeah.
focus on that and make it my only priority.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really like those words. I hope everybody heard that. It created the priority for you. And then the failure was not an option because you had the priority and you were going to go with it.
Yeah.
And it was going to succeed.
Failure was
Hell
an
or high
option.
water.
Yep.
Yes, exactly. So for people who are listening along and they're in that place, which I think the majority of us go through, we're like, do we not? How could you help somebody listening along to get out of their rut, or to give them some advice on, finding that direction that you found, that day in the office?
I think people have to stop waiting for the perfect moment. I know that sounds kind of, I don't know, I guess kind of cliche, but I feel like so many times we want to be perfectionists. Like, I mean, even as a photographer, I find it in what I do all the time, but like, you're like, oh, this is gonna, I need to make sure this is all lined up and all my ducks are in a row. I don't need ducks in a row, I just need them in the same room, and then I can organize them from there. Because I just feel like if you don't take the leap, if you don't push yourself and you don't get uncomfortable, you're not going to grow. Like growth comes straight from pushing yourself and being uncomfortable and putting yourself in uncomfortable situations, because then you really learn, and then you like, okay, I did that. And it gives you that courage to take another step.
Right.
And so in saying that, I wish more people got out of their own way, because I feel like we get stuck in our head and we get stuck in that cycle in our mind. We're like, no, I don't know if I can do it. Okay, we're gonna do it. No, I don't know. No, you just do it. You do it.
Absolutely. A good friend of ours, Andrew Vick, who is from Twin Cities area, he always says that he is always going to go into something about 30% scared.
Yeah.
70% I'm good, 30% I'm scared. Because then that keeps you on your game. It keeps you intentional and learning and making sure that you're not letting that fear dominate you, which I think is a good way to live. So a couple of things that you said that I went back and I listened to our interview that I think is very, very relevant to what we're talking about. You know your business, you know your numbers, you know your sales, you have your process down, you're very organized. From what I can tell, yes. But you said the words, you spent time learning your business. You didn't just go at it just haphazard and hope that something sticks to the wall.
Right.
So when you say you learned your business, can you talk a little bit more about that?
I mean, I learned how to create, because I do love systems. Definitely not super techie in that meaning, but I love systems in the sense of like a process and knowing what's going to come next. So I learned what my clients needed. I learned posing flows, things like that. So to me, I go into every session and I know what to expect. It does feel redundant some days, but that's why I prioritize those creative times as well.
Yeah.
But to me, having systems in place is what truly helped my business thrive.
Right.
So I learned, what those clients needed, how to create that unique experience for them.
Right. And you're still doing a lot of the design work, the editing, like all that kind of stuff too.
I do all my own editing. Yeah.
And it's beautiful. I love.
Thank you.
It's just dark and moody, and the colors are great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do all my own editing. I have, the client comes in for the day. We do the session. We do hair and makeup, and then the session. And then we break for about an hour and a half, and they go get something to eat because it's normally right around lunchtime after we get done.
And everybody loves a snack.
I know. Well, and they just built an Olive Garden close by, so I say, go get some breadsticks and some soup and salad, and you'll be set. And then they come back really happy. Either that, or I tell them to go get Mexican food, and that's great too. But either way, they come back, and we do the reveal. So while they're eating lunch, I am editing. I have a system when it comes to how I edit, how many images I take. I normally, and this may come to a surprise to some people, I normally only take about 150 to 175 images per session because I go in with intention when I shoot, so I know exactly what shot I'm going to get. I'm not shooting. I'm not getting. I hear of people having 500, 600, even 1,000 images for a session. And I'm like, unless it's like a wedding, I should not have that many images, especially for Boudoir.
I 1,000% agree with you.
So,
yes.
So that way it cuts my editing time down.
Right.
So
yeah.
I go through them, I edit them, and then I export them, and then they come back and we do the reveal, and they get to pick out their images in front of me. I do an in-person sales, so they pick out their images, they get to pick out their album cover, they choose their wall art, and that excitement is still there for them.
Right.
So it's
Yeah, and it allows you, I would think, that for you doing the sessions, you're doing the sales, you're doing the editing, the retouching, all that kind of stuff, it allows you to stay current with all of that.
Correct.
And not feel like you're 20 sessions behind.
Right.
Yes.
So when it comes to like ordering products, I know me and you discussed that. I am big on, normally after we finish, there are some times where I'll order it the same day, like after we get done. Most of the time, I'm ready to go home and cash out at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So I'll order it the next morning when I come in for that next session. That next morning, I'm designing the album, I'm ordering the wall art, and I'm, getting everything good to go for them.
Yeah, for sure. So while we're kind of on that topic, let's talk a little bit about how you fill your pipeline.
Yeah.
Because you're doing a pretty good quantity of sessions during the year, especially considering you do so much of it. So how are you creating this funnel of clients coming to you?
Yeah. So typically, to give everyone an idea, I do shoot 3 to 4 sessions a week. That's last week was a 4-week girl, and normally by the end of 4 clients in that week, I am exhausted. But I have done 5 in a week, and that's even more exhausting. But initially, when I first started, it's so funny, I was just talking with someone else about this recently too, was that, in 2019, 2020, I feel like Boudoir anybody was booking Boudoir. It was so easy to book clients, and now that has shifted a lot. So it's a little different dynamic in the sense of it doesn't apply to the put all your eggs in one basket kind of thing. Yeah. I do kind of have a couple different outlets when it comes to getting clients. Obviously, I'm on Instagram, I have a TikTok, but right now I think my biggest, best option has been Facebook ads. Okay. So Facebook ads have been great for me. I do pay someone to run them for me because I'm not about to do all of that at the same time.
Right, right.
So I have someone that runs them for me, and they've been great. Yeah.
Now, did you mention also, Heather, that you have a private Facebook group?
I do.
Okay. So does that help with the funnel?
It does. It does. So yeah, in between, like I said, I have Instagram, TikTok, my Facebook VIP group. I have an email list as well. I really don't nurture my email list like I should, so don't don't take my recommendations on that. But my Facebook group has, I think it's at 9,500 women in it.
Oh, wow.
So,
That's awesome.
and that's people that have past clients, their friends. It's grown organically because I mean it grew a little bit because Facebook changed its rules, where it used to be you could invite anybody to a group and all of a sudden they were in it, and then it changed to you have to be invited and they have to accept. And so even since then, it's grown since that shift in Facebook. So it's still possible to have a great Facebook group, and it's busy and thriving. And
I bet.
Yeah.
So do you monitor that then and answer questions and everything?
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Okay.
I schedule posts in there. I normally post anywhere from 3 to 5 times a day. I schedule all of that. I do not post. I'm not like on my phone.
I was going to be like, dang, lady, do you sleep?
No. Normally I have one day a month that I sit down and I do purchase content from other people if I can find it.
Yep.
But otherwise I will schedule out, make sure I have at least one image a day, some sort of motivational post, something that's like engaging them and getting them talking, whether it be like, do you like this lingerie look or that one? They always love if I give them the option of, do you like color or black and white? Oh my gosh.
That's a big one.
Everyone loves to give their opinion on color versus black and white. So just things that make them feel like they are really getting emotionally invested into the experience. So I'll show them behind the scenes in the studio. I'll show them, hair and makeup, things like that. So it really gets them involved and makes them excited to want to book.
So you're really seeing a return off of the time that you're spending on social media, especially Facebook.
Social media is really big, yeah.
Okay. So does that follow suit for TikTok and Instagram too, or is that a little bit lesser impact?
It's different and it's changed. So, and I feel like I've had to evolve with it as it's gone up and down. For a while, the Facebook group was really, really going good, and then that kind of settled down, and then TikTok, took off for me. I have 250,000 followers on TikTok.
Wow.
So that blew up for me, I don't know, around like 2023.
Okay.
And I don't post on there as much. I now post a little bit more of my personal life on there, but it's still the people that are interacting are invested into anything that I post at that point. So, but right now I feel like Facebook probably has the best return out of all 3 of them.
So then with your TikTok and that's
See,
hard to say today.
TikTok.
TikTok and Instagram, that's all organic growth. You're not purchasing, you're not paying for anything through that.
Yeah.
It's just your investment is going straight towards Facebook.
I mean, and technically, my Facebook group is organic growth. The Facebook group isn't paid for the people being in there. The ads are.
Yeah.
That is, and that helps with email list. Obviously, I don't even know what my email list is at, but we don't got to talk about that. So that helps with the email list and all of that. But and the Facebook group, because a lot of times it opens them up and says, hey, if you want to join the Facebook group. But overall, I'm not forcing anyone's hand to be in that Facebook group. So.
Right. So there's a lot of different schools of thought on Facebook ads, Google ads, all that kind of stuff. So you're seeing success with it. Can you give, or do you mind giving an idea of kind of like what your maybe annual investment is? And I know you're paying for somebody to do this for you, but like how much are you spending on ads? Just
So
ballpark.
Right now, I pay the person that runs them, I pay that person a $1,500 flat fee every month, and that is just for their time. And honestly, he's great because he asks for a daily update, which I have a love-hate relationship with because I'm like, I gotta send him a daily message every day. But it's all for good though, because he literally, that is him. He's watching that every single day. He's watching the numbers and he's like, okay, you're not getting as many, or what do we need to shift? And so that's been great.
Sounds like a good asset.
He has been great.
Yeah.
So I have him doing that, but then on top of that, I pay for the ads itself, and the ads. Right now, I'm at about 1,000 a month. So, yeah.
Okay. So between those two, you're $2,500 a month.
$2,500 a month.
But
right.
The return is making that a very worthwhile expense.
Yeah. 3 to 4 clients a week, and my average sale, it kind of goes up and down. It fluctuates, but a $3,500, $4,000 client.
Yeah. It's a no-brainer.
Literally, it doesn't make sense not to do it.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So we did talk a little bit about kind of how you structure your sales process, but I do want to talk a little bit more about that. So again, if you put 100 photographers in the room and you ask them what's the best way to do sales, should it be same day, should it be Zoom call, should it be a week later, you're going to get all over the board.
Oh, yeah.
But for the studios that I've seen, the businesses that I've seen that are very successful on a very small staff, the same day sales seems to be the ticket to that. So have you always done that?
I have.
Okay, from the very beginning.
Well, I mean, when I really got into Boudoir, yes.
Yep.
Boudoir is when I did same day sales, and I remember the first time someone said that, I was like, "Are you kidding me right now? Like that? How?"
I'm tired
and
after
when I
that
first
session.
started, I was sitting there hand brushing on all the editing too. Like it was a big undertaking, but there's ways around it and ways to adapt based off of the photographer. I do know some photographers that just do color grading and then they show the client the image and they pick from there, versus like some want to go through the whole process of skin smoothing. I tell clients I do my basic editing, I do a skin softening, and then I do my color grading and all of that, and then I show them the image, and then I tell them if there's anything else that they want additionally, I can still do that after the fact. It's not like this is the only image you're ever going to see.
Yeah.
But I do feel like that same day reveal keeps that excitement for them.
For sure.
And not to say that it makes them emotionally invest more, but it could.
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
it could make your sale higher.
Well, and like we were talking earlier, to drive anywhere in Dallas, Texas is an experience. Plus, it could be a long distance.
It could. And I have clients that fly in and drive in from over an hour away. I'm like, I mean, I know you could do Zoom reveals, but I also like to hand them the album and let them like hold the album, because that physically holding something in your hand and showing them absolutely makes a difference versus like, and this is this, and flipping through it on a screen. It doesn't have that same impact.
Yeah, for sure. And I get the feeling that you're very good in person. That your energy
I'm not
is.
You're good in person too. Yeah.
I have my days, Heather. So when you're talking about same day stuff, I'm sure people that are listening are like, "Whew, that sounds like a lot of time."
Yeah.
So how much time are you spending with a client on the average? Like, when do you start, when do you end?
The client gets there at 10 a.m. and normally we are done with hair and makeup about an hour, maybe sometimes a little bit over that, 11:15 or so. And then we're done shooting. I shoot for about an hour, 15 minutes. I also shoot more so because I do a prepayment type system where they kind of prepay for at least the studio minimum.
Okay.
So, and then they can always upgrade at the reveal, but that also helps me kind of know how much they are investing. So sometimes I have a client that is like, I know I can only afford the minimum, and I'm like, okay, that's great, but that for me tells me I can either focus on posing a little bit differently, or I can, I get to customize their shoot a little bit more, which I really, really love doing that.
Yep.
But then I have clients, I had a client this past week who we did five different outfit sets, and we shot for an hour and 45 minutes. I was really tired by the end of that.
My bad.
But in saying all of that, most of the time after we're done, I edit and then we do the reveal. I mean, most clients, I tell them 3:30 at the very latest is that we're done. Sometimes it can be around 4, but 3:30 is normally, I say 10 to 3:30.
Yeah.
With that hour and a half break.
Right. Okay. So your time investment per client, is 5.5, 6 hours, and that includes that break in the middle. But that's awesome. You're starting with them, and you're getting the sale, and you're moving on to production at that point.
Correct.
And next day is a new client coming in. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So as long as we're talking about products, let's bring these awesome albums up here. So. For those of you that have listened to us before Talk on Lives, when we have wonderful people come to visit us, we like to do demo orders. And it's always fun to see who really makes these behind the scenes.
Yes.
And meeting Beans and Donnie and Lori and the whole crew out there that puts this together. So, what is your first impression after seeing that happen this morning?
I love the amount of detail that goes into every step.
Yeah.
that was great.
Yes.
Just seeing everyone looking through it multiple times and looking for, so that way if one person misses it, more than likely the next 4 won't miss it because they're all looking at it.
For sure. So you did 2 for the demos today. So we have a 6x6 and an 8x8. So how do these work into your sales process? Is it a certain package? Do you do everything a la carte? Like, how does that work?
I have collections and I have a la carte. So my smallest collection that I'm going to have, that I have, is my 6x6. So it's a collection of a 6x6 with 15 images, and then it actually has a mounted print that comes with it that's an 11x14.
Okay.
So, and that one, to give you an idea, is $27.99.
Okay.
So $2,800.
And then this is the black premium leather, which you obviously love.
Yes.
We were talking when we were out on the floor too, this would be a really good match to putting into an album box.
Yes.
With the premium leather. Like, it'd just be kind of fun to experiment with that. And I saw that you opened to this little back page. So we did a fun custom foil die for Heather's logo as well. And this is something that we can keep on file, and then she can just choose to use that for albums in the future. And it can be on the end sheets, it can be on the cover.
I was going to say, I love that you can literally do it anywhere,
anywhere
on the
for
album.
sure.
And you can make it bigger, and it can also obviously not just be a logo, which I thought was very neat. And got my wheels turning.
That's good.
I got ideas.
That's good. And then we have the 8x8, and then I don't know if you want to open that up to a favorite spread in there, but like I was saying, like, Heather's work is beautiful. So when you're photographing, how much of this is being done post versus in the camera? Are you pretty much getting it on capture?
I would say that I shoot pretty similar to this.
Okay.
My shadows are all my camera settings. My highlights, obviously, I don't like to blow out my highlights completely.
Yep.
So there are some where the highlights are a little bit stronger, but really, I mean, I do have a preset that I use just because I like my work to stay consistent, and then I adjust based off of each session, obviously. But really, it's pretty true.
Close.
It's pretty close. I should have brought a raw image with me.
That's what I was thinking, because if you're doing, you're taking an hour, hour and a half, you couldn't do a ton of artwork to these and editing and still be able to prep the show for them to come back and see.
No, I mean, that literally, all of those I think are really just like bringing in that warmth and bringing in that color. But I mean, the shadows and everything, that's how I shot it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I know that, again, there's so many different schools of thought, but I love that you're capturing very, very close to output. You're not a member of Overshooters Anonymous.
I am not.
I'm
not. I think I used to be, but
I think we've all
that.
been there, and like, for me, we'll just make this about me for a minute. I started with film, and every time that I pulled that trigger, on the RB67, it was $1, for the film, the processing.
It makes you more intentional.
Right. Yes. Exactly.
Yep.
And just because you can now doesn't mean you should.
I was gonna say digital has made us a little.
Yeah.
I don't want to say lazy, because it's definitely not lazy. It's just a matter of like, well, I took 60, so one of those has got to be good.
Right.
It's like, no, just shoot with intention. Go exactly if you have to slow down, think about what you're doing, think about the angle that you're going to come in at, make sure your settings are right, and then if you move, then okay, adjust accordingly. But really, shoot with intention.
Yeah.
Don't just shoot just to do it.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Say it one more time.
Shoot with intention.
There you go. Yes, that's very good.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about the albums. What else do you love from White House?
I love mounted prints and metal prints. Those are I also do acrylic blocks, but mounted prints and metal prints, I love them. My clients love them. And lots of times little structuring here on my pricing, I have my mounted prints as my lower option and my metal prints as my higher option. And anytime someone sees a metal, they always want to upgrade to a metal.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And we're going to demo a float framed metal for you this afternoon.
Yeah.
That's going to be really fun for you to see there as well. So let's just pause on the studio for a second and talk about, because you've got other sides to Heather Nixon.
I do.
You have an education side that you're working with photographers and doing mentoring and coaching, and then also you have a really fun new thing, but let's just pause on that for a second. Let's talk about some of your education. Like what do you do for photographers?
Educating in general. I mean, I can teach anything that I do, whether it be in my structure of how I run my business, my in-person sales, all of those things. But a lot of people come to me because I shoot couples, and I know we have one of my pieces up here. So I shoot a lot of couples. I have clients that fly in. I just had a client last month that they came in for their second session, and they came from Georgia. So I have clients come in all the time for couple sessions because I advertise and I specialize in it. I think if more photographers, boudoir photographers, could get comfortable with couples, I think they could open themselves up to a whole new market. So, but I specialize in teaching them that too, and the workflow and posing and making sure people are comfortable, because couples can be a little tricky. So,
well, when we were talking, I said, Heather, I want you to hold on to your thoughts about that, because like, I'm a dude, you know, and the thought of that is probably just short of terrifying.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine that a lot of husbands, partners are a lot different than I am. So like, how do you break that down?
It's always so interesting, because you never know who's going to walk in.
Right.
And I actually joke, because normally when you have a couple, I mean, it's true pretty much every time. Normally when you have a couple, you have the more outgoing one, and then you have the one that's more reserved. I mean, that's just how couples work in general. So what I will typically do is I will kind of feed into the one that's more outgoing to help pull the other one out and their personality, and then make them feel more comfortable. Because if they're comfortable, they're going to help the other one. You know, they feed off of each other's energy. So normally for hair and makeup, I'm big, and every photographer is different on this, but when I have the woman client in hair and makeup, I normally sit there and I talk with a guy, and we're having conversation. Like, she's there too, obviously, like my makeup artist is there and everything. But I take time to get to talk with them. I don't just say, okay, you're good for hair and makeup, bye, see you, I'll see you in about an hour, and leave the room. I really take that time to spend time with them. So, but then I also photograph the guy for a little bit and kind of tell him, like, hey, it's not as big of a deal as what you think. It's actually really chill, easygoing. I'm going to walk you through all the poses. So don't worry about anything. If anything pops up, it's okay. We just still keep going. Like we just keep rolling with it. So, and normally, most of the time after I've photographed him, done all that, he's like, oh, that was actually not that bad. I'm like, I know. It's
so does this style and being able to work with couples and stuff, does that just come supernatural to you? You just kind of did it? Or did you really have to kind of train yourself?
I had to build up on it. I had to work on it. The first time I ever shot a couple was a client that had come to me 2 or 3 other times, and she had come to me 2 times, and she said, she asked me, she's like, would you do couples? And I was like, I know of a lot of great boudoir photographers that do couples, but I had never done it. And I told her that, but after, again, make yourself uncomfortable. That's how you grow.
Yes.
And so I told her, I was like, if you're up for letting me figure it out, then yes, I'll absolutely do it for you. She still comes back to me. I have done 4 couple sessions with her. She also flew me to Colorado for her anniversary to photograph her in Colorado. So I mean, mind you, this woman has a lot of money, so you know, there's that. Obviously, if you can't tell by how many sessions she's done, but she still, like, she believed in me, and I think that's really what it takes, is just for one person to be like, here's this offer. Are you gonna take it or are you gonna leave it? And so I was like, let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So then that has all of your experience in boudoir photography, in teaching photographers, all that stuff has led you to a new exciting thing that you're doing. So I know that you sent us a slide that we're going to pop up on the screen so people can learn more about this, but will you tell us more about the Intimate Art Society?
Yeah, so the Intimate Art Society is basically just an awards platform for boudoir photographers. I feel like boudoir photography in general, we get the short end of the stick. We don't get recognized in a lot of award competitions. I feel like, you know, there's not even a category for us half the time. And we deal enough with getting censored and blocked, and our whole accounts getting I know countless photographers that have had their whole accounts completely removed from platforms. And so my idea in creating this is a way of giving back to the boudoir community, to give us a platform to stand on, and also just be recognized for our hard work. So it's a competition essentially for submissions, image submissions. There are 10 different categories that they can submit their images to. And then on top of that, there is four categories for nominations for Educator of the Year, Rising Artist of the Year, things like that, where people can go in and nominate people that they truly admire in the industry. And then there's a People's Choice Award that gives everyone an opportunity to vote on an image that they love. So
cool.
there's a whole judging panel. We have 10 judges. They're all amazing boudoir photographers in the industry. Some names that are very recognizable. So they've all offered their time to judge. And then after all is said and done, there will be an awards gala take place. No one's going to know who the winners are. They'll only know the finalists, and they'll be announced at the gala in January.
Very cool.
So
you're doing the submissions and everything is online, but then the final event is in person.
Yes.
So you get that camaraderie, you get to meet people, all that stuff.
So there's, and obviously there's a lot that goes in, so much that goes into it, and so building this from scratch has been a whirlwind. We actually we faced another challenge whenever I was looking at platforms for people to submit their images. I got turned down because of it being boudoir. They said, we can't support your images because it's boudoir.
Really?
So I had the platform built from the bottom. I literally had someone build a whole software so that people could submit their images, and they were kept in a safe space and online, all of that. So we dealt with all of that, and then it's been interesting watching all of this grow from quite literally the bottom up. But that's what happens whenever you have someone like me, where I'm like, you know what? We're a little busy. Let's go ahead and add on one more thing.
Let's just do a little bit more. I get the feeling that those gears in your head never slow down.
They really don't, no. But it's all good. I take it as a good thing.
No, you handle it well. You don't seem like you come from a reaction or a defensive. You're always like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it well. Yeah.
My husband hates that about me sometimes.
I bet he does.
My husband's literally like, if I ever go to him and I'm like, I have an idea, he's like, what do you need me to build? And I'm like, it's okay.
It's fine. It's fine. We'll be all good.
Yeah.
Well, this is awesome. So for people that want to learn more about you, where do they find you? I know you have, your business side. Tell us that, and then tell us about the Intimate Art Society. I know we have the website. We have the QR code up there. But is there social media for that? Like, give us all of the details.
Yeah. So my business-wise, for me, I have my website, just heathernixonphotography.com.
Yep.
I have my Instagram, same thing, there's no special characters or anything in it.
Yep.
And then the Intimate Art Society, there is a website, which again was up there on the screen, just theintimateartsociety.com. And then there's a Facebook group that's the Intimate Art Society Awards, and it's a public group, so anyone can join. But that's where we're posting everything, and there's, things are on the website, but people like Facebook groups. They're a little bit easier to keep track of. But that's where we're posting everything, and submissions for all of that open July 1st. So we're coming up on it. Yeah.
And you're sitting in Minnesota on June, what is it today? I don't even know the date.
I don't even know what the date is.
We're darn close to July 1st.
We are.
We're
getting there.
Yeah,
so.
for sure. Well, this has been fantastic.
Yes.
It's so fun to have you here, and for you to get to meet the staff and the staff to meet you. That's a huge part of this, and for anybody that has been here before knows that. Like we'll take Lori for example. I always pull her out because I love Lori. She's so good. She knows what people order. Yeah. And if there's ever a faux pas in an order, and she'll look at it and she'll be like, you know what? That doesn't seem quite right. Let's just ask to make sure. And it just gives that point of connection, that face to a name. So it's really cool that you took the time to be here today.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it.
I'm so happy that I got a chance to come. So it's really cool to meet everyone, because I have always said y'all have the best customer service when it comes to just if I have a question or a concern. You guys are always on top of it, and I see that out here.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And just a note too before we leave, if anybody is watching the recording of this and has a question for Heather, if you put it into the comments, we'll be able to track her down, and I'm sure she would be more than happy to give us an answer. So it looks like we do have a question coming in here, so I'm gonna read that off the board real quick. So we'll just insert the Jeopardy theme song here real quick. Okay, so pricing. Do you mind talking a little bit about pricing before we go? Okay, so how do you price your collections or session fees or your minimums that you mentioned on that?
Yeah, so my session fee is $500. Just that's for a regular session, and then I have a couple sessions are $100 more. It's $600.
Okay.
Not a huge difference in that. So that is what normally covers the creation of their images, is what I tell them. So covers hair and makeup. I have a client closet with over 500 pieces of lingerie that I have accumulated over time. It did not happen overnight. Literally, I have videos of me in the very beginning where I had a tiny rack with like probably 20 pieces. We all start somewhere. So my client closet, I give clients access to that so they can, wear whatever pieces they want, or they can bring their own. And then I tell them the, posing from head to toe, and then the same day reveal. So session fee is completely separate from all my products. My minimum investment for my studio is $999, and that is for a 3-image trifold. So it only has 3 images to it. It's a 6x9, and it folds open like that. So it's that starting point, and I tell everyone, I'm like, if that's all you can do, like, the experience itself is amazing. So having 3 images, I know that's not a lot, but there are clients that are like, you know what, I want to have this experience, and so I would, they invest into it and just get the studio minimum. Collections, which would have that 6x6 album. And then the mounted print, that starts at the $27.99, so $2,800.
So really your minimum with the session charge and that $995 is basically $1,500.
Basically, it's $1,500.
And then it goes up from there. And then you had mentioned a prepay, so they have that minimum prepaid before they come in.
So I require at least the studio minimum to be prepaid. There's, and I say the session fee lately, especially with ads and stuff, I do a special on my session fee. So normally they don't pay this. Lately they have not. A lot of people have paid the session fee, but that's a part of the ad. So, but I just have them, as long as they pay that $999, then they get to come in, and then I know at least they're investing into that, and so that to me makes me feel better. It kind of alleviates that problem of like, what if someone comes in and doesn't purchase any pictures? No, I know you're at least getting the minimum. If you get more than that, I love that. But it just helps the session flow better, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. Well, I appreciate you being able to share with that. And if you do have additional questions, just put them into the comments, and we'll chase Heather down. I'm sure she'd be kind enough to answer questions.
I love questions.
Absolutely. So thank you again.
Thank you for having me.
And we're only part of the way into this day. We have a lot to do this afternoon.
We still got a lot more to do.
And dinner tonight is going to be great.
I'm so excited.
Absolutely. Okay, so again, if you have any questions, make sure and put them into the comments. Make sure to subscribe to the WHCC YouTube. Follow us along on Instagram at WHCC Pro. And for all your product-related questions, check out WHCC.com. If you have not played with the Album Designer, the new wall editor, and the press card editor, do it. It's an amazing set of software pieces that make your life so much better. So I'm Matt. This is Heather. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.